All right. It is the top of the hour, and we have switched our live stream over to the Eastern noon support session where we give Barry a break and we take a little time here to try and help people out with live support demo. Sounds good, says Michael. Very good to know. All right, so we're live, we're up, and we're going. Welcome, thrill ride seekers, to another day of pretty crazy action. I cannot recall seeing action this crazy for this amount of days on end since the crash of 2000, really, and 2008. But nonetheless, we can see people slowly filing in, and our chat room is lit up. Or I shouldn't say it's lit up. We'd like to get it lit up, but the chat room is active. It's live. If there's anything somebody would like me to help demonstrate or take a look at or help you with, this is the way to do it. What I'm looking at here is a market that just, kind of typical, took out yesterday's lows by just a few cents. Let me grab my illustrator. Illustrator complete. So what I'm talking about is here, just no surprise. I shouldn't say no surprise. There's tons of surprises. But it's not too surprising that yesterday's low right there was taken out by a nickel or so, just eyeballing it, and then a big reversal off of that low. I'm just kind of quietly waiting for that dead cat bounce that'll push us back up into the pocket, much like that, in the next day or two. And then much like up here where the price action met that first dead cat bounce into that pocket way earlier, much higher. We'll see where the price action goes from there. That'll be our big tell, possibly, as to what this market does want to do. But that's what I'm watching. Nobody yet in the chat room, so we'll just wait until that materializes. Long some X in the other account was picked up yesterday in our group account. And just like I mentioned a minute ago, I'm watching this level right here to see if this intraday momentum can hold. Definitely outperforming the market. Market is very interested in gold and steel today. All right, anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I'm just going to I'm not going to ramble for a whole hour. That gets kind of old. But if I see something that's of interest, something that needs to be commented on, we'll certainly do so. I'll just keep an eye on what's going on over here. No surprise in some of these work at home Slack. Trade Ideas uses Slack. We've always been working at home, so it's no different for us. Grub was a little volatile, but now it's starting to pick up steam again. Blue Apron. Oh, look at that. So Blue Apron had a chance. It actually was a late call by the AI earlier, and in my opinion, it has now broken intraday momentum. About a day and a half. Day and a half is what you get out of momentum a lot of times. And that would be the case for Blue Apron. Nothing technical about that. It was nothing more than a news-related play. Jumping in and identifying a niche that's being filled. If Blue Apron's smart, they're putting on a major hiring effort right now, just like supposedly Amazon is also doing. Quick technical note. Our T windows are not updating very well today, and we're aware of that. And the servers are being looked at, addressed, and rebooted. But what I've been doing all morning is clicking on time frame and then just clicking live always again. Then I get a quick refresh here, and it shows me the new update for the day. Look at that grub just going crazy now. Wow. There we go. X is trying to trampoline off of that intraday movement there. I'd like to see that. And then it's probably got a date with its you know what right there. It's declining 10 period moving average in the next day, or maybe even later today. But yeah, a small group. Maybe the market's scaring people off. Maybe people are quarantined with their kids and they're out backyard doing something. Or if they're with their kids, they're probably not sitting here focusing intently on the market. So a bit of a softer attendance yesterday and today, but we can deal with that. We're here regardless. Again, you guys have that chat window available to you. We're here for you guys if anybody has any questions about the product or anything in general. We're here to address them. Nice looking bottoming tail possibly there in BA. I think Andy grabbed some of that this morning. Now he's wishing he bought more. Any questions? Line them up. It's been pretty quiet so far, but that's okay. It's your hour. The market could react at any minute to this press conference, but if the market has not reacted to anything yet, I don't know if it will. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin was talking a minute ago about a stimulus package. He's trying to take to uh, the Fed and to the Congress. Looks like the market is receiving that rather well. So I think what's happening is we're getting some lift off of some of the comments from the Treasury Secretary and the President trying to figure out a way to put money in people's pockets as quickly as possible, as people know best what their own situation is and how to solve that problem. Just Sean, market like, put money in pocket quickly, however possible, do it, because everybody has a very unique situation right now. I've got some trade ideas users who are trade lightly in the morning and work at high-end restaurant in the evening, and not quite sure what's going to happen. I get it. That's a lot of anxiety. Putting some money in the pocket would help alleviate some anxiety. And of course, markets don't like uncertainty. They like some plans. They like solutions. Yeah, we're pushing. We're going to push yesterday's highs here, perhaps. Yeah, tax deferment too. Any little thing, even the interest rates on student loans is helping keep a little extra money in the pocket. Not having to come up and cough up a big tax check on April 15th is going to be a good one. Not penalizing people who are currently struggling, trying to pay interest and penalties from last year's taxes is going to give them a reprieve. So I think all the right things are being said, and the market for the moment is liking what it's hearing. So you got the Qs up 8% now. Got the Dow up only 5%. The NASDAQ bouncers are leading the way without a doubt. And then, of course, probably bringing up the rear. IWM. Yeah, Sean, I owe money too. still, still good. Giving them a little bit, and I think this will be a good thing, at least for that. I've got it on mute. I can't really hear what they're saying now, but all I need to do is see what the price action's doing. That's all that matters. NASDAQ again leading the way, up 8.5%. Gold miners were going crazy this morning. They're backing off a little bit now as people start to buy regular stuff. Hello, Mike C. Yeah, if they're going to be handing out checks, we're all socialists now. I think everybody would cash that check. I know I would. Wouldn't be out of the normal for these spiders and Qs to peak above yesterday's high and then retreat just a little bit. I think that's just how the programming is out there, but we'll see what happens. It feels like we're going to get that scenario. So just for fun, what I'll do is just kind of set a price alert right there. Nudge me when it happens. In the strongest of the bunch, at least, NASDAQ. Almost yesterday's highs. Well, I'll go back on mute if you guys don't want to talk about anything. My feelings aren't hurt. That's what I wanted to see there on that X. Momentum line kicking it back into play. It's funny, this A table has just been empty for so long in this horrible market. These are usually good-looking charts, and everything's been taken to the woodshed, but this thing looks like it's being acquired anyway. That grub's probably... I need to nudge somebody. Never mind. I was thinking of something else. Wow. Even the mighty have fallen. Oh, I've already pulled the trigger in another account there. Mike bought X yesterday. That one's working great. Had Nugget yesterday, but sold that a little earlier today at 13. Day and a half is what I like, although this X might be a bit longer than a day and a half trade. I'm going to see what happens when the price meets that 10-period moving average. And I did pick up some TNA right about here earlier as the markets were all breaking out. I'll show you. As I looked around and saw the S&P spiders today, like right there, breaking above that moving average. And the NASDAQ, right about the same spot, breaking above those moving averages and holding. Grabbed a little TNA, which is the Russell 2000 triple. Might play some catch up. Hey, look at that. It's up 10% now. Well, that's the triple or the double. Yeah, it's only a double because the iShares are up 5.5. Well, we didn't even get to yesterday's highs before a bit of selling retreated in there. Press conference is still going on, but I can't imagine they wouldn't have said anything that hasn't already been said. Well, there were a couple of Neo trades today, just playing devil's advocate or hindsight. You know, that one was a good short, but it did lose its momentum right there. Let's take a look at this one. This one's a long APR, and we already talked about this one. It pretty much just broke even and it's falling apart. So it's day and a half is done for that one. And then lastly, this one looks like it was a short and got stopped out pretty quickly. I saw that Holy Grail segment was doing okay. See how the moving average, okay, so here's some great moving average examples here in the 10 period. Doesn't even want to get close to it there. What about this one? This was a short, and look at that. We lost our momentum right there. Interesting. This 2 was also a short, lost its momentum. What's Mike saying? You bought a few more shares of ENPH. Oh, you like that ENPH. Talk about that one a lot. Yeah, look at that. It bounced off its 200-day moving average. Hello, Sal. New to Trade Ideas. What's the best way to start and join this trading room? Well, this is a 1 hour a day, kind of a respite from Barry's live trading room. So Barry is going all day long in his live trading room, which you can join on this link or another direct link into the room. The best way is to just pull up a chair and watch and ask and listen. And if you're new to the market, you want to figure out what your method is and your time frame and your horizon and your risk management and all that and what you want to pull out of it. And then from there, you can use Trade Ideas to whittle down and drill down into the tools that we can have to help you, present a list of good ideas in, most importantly, real time to help. This is a great place to start for sure, the trading room, because or the trading room or this afternoon tech support session or product support session, I would say, because we're here and we're available, and it's much easier than typing questions into a chat bubble on our website and chatting back and forth. We can speak and demonstrate and address directly. So Sal, I guess it really kind of depends on next what your time frame is. Are you looking to be a very active day trader sitting in front of your computer all day long, or you're going to be more of a swing trader who does their homework at night and does a few things here and there throughout the day, but you might be at another job? Either way, there's ways to get a lot of value out of this platform for either way. I'm here. I'm just on mute. Not a whole lot to do at the moment. Maybe until this press conference is over and see how the market reacts to it in its entirety. All right, I'm glad I was able to help Sal out. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about? Gold miner's starting to give it up now a little bit. Not real sure what I'm going to talk about today in my 5 o'clock Eastern webinar. I'm probably going to maybe build a scan in real time that's maybe looking for something that could be interesting in this type of market environment. Primarily something that maybe is certainly obviously sold off a lot, like everything, but more importantly, maybe put in a long range today, a long bar, a long tail, because find stocks that are at or closing at the high end of that long bar, which would indicate probably a bottoming tail. I'm just going to try and maybe fish around in live webinar mode today, looking for things that are doing that, finding a scan to create that, and then taking it a step further and looking at them one by one and marrying them up and seeing if there's some interesting setups. Build a scan that shows a wedge. You know, we kind of have something that shows a wedge. Let me see if I can find it. It's called the Bull Flag Daily. It's something Andy had created, but boy, I don't know if this is even going to show anything at the moment. Let's do this. Let's flip it upside down, and it will probably show us some wedges to the downside. Because when the market was going up, and I assume you're talking about a daily chart scan, because if you're not, then we would take a different approach. But just for curiosity, let's configure this and let's flip it and see if we can find some flipped scans. Nope, there's nothing even flipped. So, I mean, I can share this with you directly in the chat here. I'll give you the cloud code to it, but it's not going to show anything because there's absolutely nothing out there that's been trending up and then wedging and then moving higher, and that's what this one is kind of looking for. But I'll show you something else. I mean, if you're talking about intraday time frames, let me drop this cloud code in here. If you're talking about intraday time frames, there's something of interest. We go to an alert window, and in search, you do this. You take the drop-down menu, and you go to geometric patterns. And what you were asking about was a wedge. And so the term wedge isn't necessarily in here, but here's some different wedge types of patterns. And these are actually events that the AI, or sorry, that the TI Trade Ideas platform will recognize. Now, it's very important to remember that these, okay, these that we're talking about here, they have to be predicated off of some sort of uniform time frame because, as I said, the platform is locating them. So what time frame are these working off of? They're working off of a 15-minute candle. So if you are, I'm going to hit close here, if you're like looking at a 15-minute candle and zoom out, this is the kind of time frame it would be looking for wedges on. I use a 15-minute candle, and so it will go back a few days and it would try to identify things that might be creating a wedge in the intraday 15-minute time frame. Markets are giving a little bit back here. They didn't really hold their bid there for the moment. And now I'm frozen. What the heck? There we go. So back to those geometric patterns. If you're looking for things like that, just go to our configure and then look for that drop-down menu that's called geometric patterns or shapes. And from there, you can locate some possible interesting setups on a 15-minute time frame for the most part. Okay, so maybe the S&P, maybe the SPYs and Qs got a little ahead of themselves, who knows? But now what I'm watching, you know, this was our moment that we crossed through and got rid of all that downside pressure. What we're going to need to see is that line hold and see if we can hold the buy bid side pressure that's in there at the moment. I'm not going to predict. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to use that as an indicator. And I'll just go back on mute here for a few minutes until somebody has a question. You know, it seems like charts might be a little bit slow for me. When that happens on platform, it's nice to just go to account and click on reset connection sometimes, and that really can free things up. There we go. All right, guys, it's your time. Whatever you want to talk about. Much slower group today. Maybe that's indicative of market participation and people at home, like I said earlier, dealing with kids running around the house, can't focus, etc., etc. Hang in there, X. I'll trade you 2 rolls of toilet paper for some whiskey. Gonna need a futures market on TP now. Or you can just do the Canadian bidet, like Jeff Mackey said yesterday. All right, guys. I'm getting bored. Question: a similar tab for strategies. The ticker came up. Oh, a similar tab for strategies. The ticker came up this morning. Will help reduce number of windows you have to have open. If you're talking about, yeah, if you're talking about, the similar, like I pull up X here, so X is in the chamber. If we click similar, we're going to have nothing but steel stocks here. And it's currently sorted by the biggest of the lot market cap. So here's some more steel stocks. So yeah, I mean, you want to look at it that way. If you just want to use a single window and ply through there and find out which similar sympathy plays might be running in certain sectors, just predicated on the symbol you type in there to start with. That's a nice feature, that new similar tab, especially in periods of brand new focus on the market. Sometimes the market has a weird way of focusing on things, whether it's security or nanotech or biotech or alternative fuels or shippers. There's always that crazy, silly sector that seems to be in somebody's wheelhouse or everybody's wheelhouse for some unknown story. So this similar tab and this new tool can be a nice way to come in and look for possible sympathy plays. If I type in F-cell again here, what we're going to get is F-cell miscellaneous type electrical equipment and energy. So these are all Ballard Power. That would make sense. That's a competitor of F-cell. Plug should be in here as well, but there it is, Plug. So this is a great way where people used to not really know, well, how do I know what stocks are in each sector? Well, now you've got a nice tool that'll pull it all together for you. All you have to do is just type in the parent sector that you're interested in, and that similar tab will bring up everything in the same space. Looks like I've got, there we go. All right, good question or good comment. Again, we're scheduled to go another 20 minutes or so. Hopefully we'll have stuff to talk about. So as far as Siri, they're not going to have a lot of competitors. There's iHeartRadio. Siri, and then whatever this is. Oh, Radio 1. So that's it. That'd be the complete list of that one. So here comes our moment of truth that I'm looking at here, intraday anyhow. Anyway, if we can hold this moving average right there, that would be nice for the bulls. All right, guys, since there's just not a lot going on over here, and I'm just going on and off mute pretty much for the most part, talked about all the things I'm looking at today. I'm just going to give it a last 5-minute call here. If there's any questions that need to be addressed, let's knock it out now. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and end early. Again, I think people's attentions are elsewhere today. I'm not sure, but it's very quiet. You're welcome, Mike. We'll be here again tomorrow. So a little bit of a green spug there on the Qs and the spiders trying to hold on. all relatively respectively trying to hold on to that 10-period moving average after pushing through and getting almost through yesterday's highs. But let's see if we can hold this level. I'd like to see that hold that level personally. Um, but with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It's just a lot of dead air here today, and there's no point in doing that. So we'll be back tomorrow. Fresh market, fresh set of eyes, and a fresh announcer. So we'll talk to you tomorrow.